Hello, everybody. Welcome to the next game in the 1987 American League full replay. Another April 25th game is upon us. It's the second to the last April 25th game, and we're in Chicago, Comiskey Park, to witness the Toronto Blue Jays against the Chicago White Sox. Toronto enters the game 11-5. Chicago enters the game 9-5. On the mound, Dave Stieb for the Blue Jays and Floyd Bannister for the White Sox. They are combined 5-0 on the season. So good start for both pitchers there. Ballpark effects, singles are 1-9 for both. Home runs 1-4 for both. Pitcher catcher hold, both have good hold ratings. Bannister is a -2 combined with Fisk. Stieb is a -5 because DeWillis is a -3 and Steve's a -2, so that gives him a -5. Wild pitch and balk ratings for the two starters: wild pitch 4, balk 2 for Bannister, wild pitch 4, balk 0 for Stieb. And I do have the game up on the Strat-O-Matic computer, so I will be able to give you the stats as we go. I'll give you more official stats for Floyd Bannister. He's 2-0, but his ERA is only 0.74. 24 innings pitched, 11 hits, 2 walks, and 12 strikeouts. So obviously he has been doing a bang-up job for the White Sox. So Floyd Bannister finishing up the warm-up tosses. And stepping to the plate will be shortstop Tony Fernandez. Fernandez is hitting 333. He hit 322 in real world. In the replay, in 66 at-bats, he's hitting 333. No homers and 3 runs driven in. Got as close to Chicago White Sox colored dice as I could find. So we will go with it from there. Hope your weekend is off to a good start. Tomorrow, late morning, or tomorrow early afternoon, I haven't decided which, it'll be the History Maker Baseball Cincinnati Reds 1990 replay. The scene will shift from Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati to the Vet in Philadelphia as the Cincinnati Reds and Jose Rijo take on Ken Howell and the Phillies. That will be tomorrow, either late morning or early afternoon. I haven't decided. It depends on how life goes. All right, so Bannister against Tony Fernandez, and we're underway. That's a 3-8 left-handed, and that's a ground ball to short. So Ozzie Guillen will handle that one with no problems. And Bannister is off to a good start. That'll bring up Garth Clockwork Orge. He is the third baseman in this game. And Orge on the replay in limited duty, he's only had 10 at-bats, and he's 2 for 10. A 200 average, no homers, 2 driven in. We have 2-7, and that's a line out to second base. So snagged by the second baseman, Donnie Hill, and 2 up and 2 down right away. Bannister looking for a quick 1-2-3 inning. That'll bring up Lloyd Moseby. Lefty on lefty matchup. Mosby, center fielder, is hitting 309 in the replay. 3 homers, 17 driven in. That's a 3-6 against the lefty. He's going to draw a base on ball. So 2-out walk to Moseby. And we'll see if Moseby, despite the -2 there, he's still going to try to get the lead, because if he gets the lead, it would still be a 1-15 in the safe range if he gets the lead. He needs a 2 through 5 to get the lead. And it's a 2, so he does get the lead. He will steal. 19 being held as a 17, and then the -2 from Bannister is a 15. So 1-15, Fisk with the throw, and it's not in time. Lloyd Moseby will steal second base. So Moseby with the stolen base. He's in scoring position, and with 2 outs, he will be held. And that brings up George Bell, cleanup man, left fielder for the Jays. Bell hitting 286, 5 homers, 19 driven in. First havoc roll of the game, nothing happening. Bell, 110, and that's a ballpark blast. It's a 1-4, though, and that is a 5. So he just barely misses the home run. It will be a deep fly to left field, hauled in by Gary Reedus, and that's going to do it as Bannister breathes a sigh of relief. So nothing doing for Toronto. They get the walk and a stolen base, but nothing else. We go to the bottom of the first. It is Toronto nothing in Chicago coming to bat against right-hander Dave Stieb. And we'll get Steve's official numbers. He is 3-0 with a 4.57 earned run average, 22 innings pitched, 19 hits, 14 walks, and 9 strikeouts. And leading off will be Gary Redus for the White Sox, left fielder. And Redus on the replay is hitting .375, 1 homer and 6 driven in. So he's doing well better, much better than his real life counterpart, but it is early. It's only 56 at bats. He had 475 in real world, so there's lots of time for that number to change. Steve with the pitch, 4-10. Ground ball third base X, that's Orge. He's a 3. A 3 and a 10, he will get to that. So we'll check and see exactly what that is on a 3 and a 10. Not that it matters, nobody's on base. So let's take a look here. Bring the chart into play. 3 and a 10 is G2. His error rating is a 13. So as a third baseman, E13, he's got to avoid 11, 16, and 18. 11, 16, and 18. And that's a 10. He just barely did, but barely is all you need in this game. And he will make the play to throw out Gary Redus to start the bottom of the first. So nice play by Orge. And that brings up Steve, Lions, Tigers, and Bears. Oh my, the center fielder for the White Sox in limited duty. Just 5 at bats. He's 1 for 5 with a 200 average. No homers, no runs driven in. Hey there, Mr. Utah Mike. Good to see you. Just got to see, I was checked in with the RJL long enough to get the walk-off home run, and then figured it was 9 o'clock on the East. So it was time to get this game going before it got real late. So here's Lions. 4-5, and that's a fly to left. That is out number 2, hauled in by George Bell. And that'll send up Ivan Calderon, the right fielder. Calderon is hitting .347, 3 homers, 11 driven in. It's a 6-4, and that's a pop out to second base. Easy play for Sharperson. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Stieb, and neither club able to get anything against the starting pitchers in this one so far. After 1 complete, no score from Comiskey. And Jesse Barfield will lead things off. Right fielder, Barfield, .317 on the replay, 3 homers, 17 runs driven in. That's a 4-7 against a right-hander for Bannister. 4-7 is a ground ball second base X. Donnie Hill's a 4E11. So 4 is a little bit questionable. He has to have a 7 or higher on the D20 to get to this ball, which he does. 13 is a G3, which bases are empty, so it doesn't matter. He'll get to it. He's an E11, so he's got to avoid 15, 17, and 18. Should be simple enough to do that. And he barely does. That's a 13, but he did skate around it. And Donnie Hill will throw out Jesse Barfield for out number 1. 1 down. Hello, Highlight. How you doing? And that'll bring up Upshaw. Willie Upshaw, first baseman, and this is a lefty-on-lefty matchup. It's only hitting a .194, no homers, 4 driven in, so he's one of the few Blue Jays that has struggled out of the gate. 5-5, and not struggling this time. 1-6 is a triple. That's a 4. That'll be a triple for Willie Upshaw. For Upshaw, that is his first triple of the season. He had 4 in real world, but that is his first triple of the season. And the Blue Jays are threatening early with Cecil Fielder coming up, the DH. Runner on third, and both teams expect a tight game, so they're going to bring the infield in. And Cecil Fielder is clubbing the ball in just 17 at-bats. He's hitting .471 with 5 home runs and 12 driven in. So he has been a hoss, to say the least. But the infield is in with 1 out. 3-8, and that's a single. There's a clutch there, but we're not in a clutch situation. There are not 2 outs, so the single will stand. That is an RBI single for Cecil Fielder, and the Blue Jays take a 1-0 lead as Fielder continues to club the ball and get those base hits. Here's Mike Sharperson. Fielder obviously not going to be held at first base. Sharperson is hitting .224, no homers, 5 driven in. Nothing on the havoc. That's a .311 for Sharperson. That's a fly ball to right field. Hauled in out there by Calderon, and there's 2 away. Conspicuous by his absence from the lineup lately for the White Sox has been Harold Baines, but he's injured. That's why. Not sure what day he comes back, but he is injured. That's why he's not in there. All right, so coming up now is the third string catcher, Jeff DeWillis. He had 25 at-bats all season. In the replay, he's 1 for 4, .250 average, no homers, no runs batted in. Nothing on the havoc. Here's the pitch to DeWillis. 5-3, and that is a strikeout for Bannister to end the inning, but the damage done on that triple by Upshaw and the single by Fielder. And we go to the bottom of the second, 1-0 Jays. Giving Dave Stieb a lead to work with. Hello, Ernest. Hello, Hardwood. And hello, Dav. Good to see all of you. Friday night's a very popular night to stream, so I was trying to sneak in right behind RJL and in front of anybody that might be going later, like Al Red Sox fan or Utah Mike or Beatles Eternally. Some of those folks on the West Coast or whatever or the night owls that stay up forever. So I'm trying to fit it in as good as I can. So that's why I'm jumped on at 9 o'clock to try to get this game done. All right, here's Ron Hassey, the designated hitter and backup catcher. He's hitting .206, 1 homer, 3 driven in. It's a 3-8 for Hassey. He will fly to right field, and there's 1 away. Hassey is retired. That brings up Pudge, Carlton Fisk, doing the catching. Fisk is hitting .302. No homers, 5 runs driven in, and 43 at-bats. 1-3 for Fisk is a ballpark single. That's a 1-9. That's a 4. It'll be a base hit for Carlton Fisk. And that is the first base runner and first hit of the game for the White Sox. Fisk not going to be held on. And first baseman Greg Walker, the batter. Walker is hitting .170, so he's been struggling. 1 homer and 8 driven in. Nothing on the havoc. Here is Walker. 4-6 against the lefty. That's a walk, so Walker walks. That'll put 2 on with nobody out, with 1 out rather. Steve in a little bit of trouble. Brings up the switch hitting second baseman Donnie Hill. Hill is hitting a .170. 2 homers, 6 driven in. Steve trying to hold on to that 1-run lead that his team gave him. 1-5. That's a line out to second base, snagged by Sharperson. 2 down, all runners get back. And now we're in a clutch situation for Tim Hewlett, third baseman. Hewlett on the replay hitting a .180, 1 homer and 4 driven in. Stieb, 1-8 to Hewlett, pops it up to second, and that's going to do it. So despite getting 2 base runners on, Stieb pitches around it. At the end of 2, it is Toronto 1 and the Sox nothing. Final game of April 25th will be probably on Sunday, and it will be the Cleveland Indians at the New York Yankees at Yankee Stadium. Rick Rhoden will be on that start on the mound for the Yankees for that one, and he'll be opposed by left-hander Scott Bales. And that'll probably be on Sunday. Of course, tomorrow, probably sometime around noon Eastern, but maybe a little before, will be the Cincinnati Reds History Maker Baseball 1990 replay continuation in Philadelphia. All right, so back to the top of the order for the Blue Jays, Tony Fernandez. Hello, Mr. Little. How you doing? Mr. Vega, good to see both of you. I snuck into RJL's video just long enough to see the walk-off home run. So Figured now it's time to jump while the fire's hot. 1-0 Toronto. Here's Bannister to Fernandez. He grounded to short his first trip. That's a 4-7. Switch hitter batting right-handed. Ground ball second base X. So we're looking at Mr. Hill again. And again, he is a 4, so that can be problematic. As a 4, he has to have a 7 or higher to get to this. That's a 9. He does get to it, but barely. And as an E11, though, he only needs to avoid 15, 17, and 18. So you would think he could do that. And he does. So Donnie Hill will make the play on Tony Fernandez. 1 away. That'll flip it over to Garth Clockwork Orge, and he lined to second his first time up against the lefty Bannister. That's a 2-4, and he's going to fly to center. Hauled in out there by Steve Lions, Tigers, and Bears Oh My. So that's out number 2. For Lloyd Mosby. Mosby walked and stole second, but was stranded there. 5-6, lefty on lefty is going to be another base hit for Mosby. 1-3 is a double, but that would merely be a single. It's a 2-out single, but he stole the base last time, so why not try again? Again, a 2 through 5, 2, 3, 4, or 5 to get the lead. And he cannot get the lead this time, so he will not go. And George Bell steps to the plate. 3-2 for Bell. That's a fly to center, and again, hauled in by Lions to end the inning. So Bannister comes back, takes care of the Jays. Goes bottom of the third, still 1-0. Hello, Mr. Rawlings. How are you? Good to see you. Again, the final game on April 25th, and it would be game number 119 of the season, will be Cleveland at the Yankees, and that will finish off the April 25th date. And then we'll move on to April 26th. The same teams will be added again as the 3-game series continues for each team. So won't be any change of opponents. It will just be change of starting pitchers and slight changes in the lineup, I assume. So we will get going with the bottom of the third. And Ozzie Guillen, shortstop, steps to the plate. Only one not to come to the plate yet is Guillen, and he's there now. And on the replay, Guillen is in 308, 1 homer and 6 driven in. That's a 6-7, and that's a ground ball second base X. Sharperson's a 4. So we already know from seeing Donnie Hill, who's also a 4, we need a 1-7 to get to this. And he gets to it. Now the error check on Sharperson's going to be a little bit different. He's an E23, so he has to avoid 11 and a 17. Those are the only two he needs to worry about, 11 and 17. And he gets by that without a problem, so it's good play for Sharperson. There's 1 away. Back to the top of the order for Gary Reedus, not to temptation. That's a 3-6, and that's going to be a walk. So Gary Reedus will draw the free pass, and he might be looking to get the lead despite the -5 hold. We'll see if he wants to try to get the lead. So 2 through 6, it would be a -5, so it would be a -7. Be a 1-12 if he wanted to try it. So I think they're going to try it. Still a 60% chance. 2 through 6 to get the lead. He gets the lead, so he's going to go 1-12. And again, that's 19 -2 for being held as a 17, minus the 5 there is a 12. 1-12. And he's in there, stolen base, Gary Reedus. He was not deterred by the good hold rating. He steals the base, gets himself into scoring position with 1 out, and Steve Lyons is your batter. That's a 2, chance of a balk or a pass ball. That's a chance of a balk. Dave Stieb has 0 balk rating, though, so no balk. 6-8, left-handed. That's trouble. 1's a double, anything else is a single. 2 stars, which will automatically score Reedus And we have a tie game. RBI single from Steve Lyons. And we are knotted up at 1 apiece, and that stolen base came into play. The aggressiveness paid off. And now Lyons is at first base, but he will not be held, not go anywhere. Calderon, the batter, popped to second his first trip. 1-8, and he's going to single to center. There's a clutch there, but the clutch situation is not in effect. So it will be a single to center field. With 1 out, getting to third would be a prime thing to do for Lyons. He is a 13. He was not being held, makes him a 14. And it's a 0 arm for Mosby. So 1-14, they're going to send him to third base. The question is, do the Blue Jays want to try for him? If they try for him, Calderon's going to take second on the throw, or they could let him get there and keep the double play in order. And I think that's what they're going to do. Mosby's going to hold the ball, and they're going to let Lyons go to third. They got to keep that double play in order. That's the thing about the super advanced. If you try for that runner, the trail runner, in this case the batter, would move up. So Calderon has a 2 through 5 to get the lead if he so desires, but again, that -5. So he will not try it. He will be held, but he won't try it. So runners on the corners with 1 out and 1 in, and Ron Hassey, who is a double play candidate, is at the plate. And the Blue Jays are playing back for that double play. 3-7, and as a fly ball center field B, question mark, chance for Lyons to score on this on a sacrifice fly. He runs at a 13, you add 2, makes him a 15. So 1-15, he will score. 16 through 20, he is out. And he's in there. Sacrifice fly is good from Ron Hassey. Ron Hassey, sacrifice fly to center field. Gives the White Sox a 2-1 lead. Calderon still at first with 2 outs for Pudge Fisk. But now the White Sox have taken the lead on Stieb. 2-1 with some aggressive base running. 2-7, and that's a strikeout to end the inning. But the Sox put up 2 in the bottom of the third. And at the end of 3, it is Chicago 2 and Toronto 1. Hello, GGG. Yes, I was, Mr. Vega. I did see the walk-off home run by George Foster. I absolutely did. I caught the last probably half inning of that game. I think I caught the bottom of the 9th or bottom of the 10th, whatever the last inning was. I did catch that because I wanted to see where he was, if he was finishing up his game or not. So I did check that out. Absolutely. All right, here's Jesse Barfield now as the Blue Jays try to come back. Down now 2-1. Bannister with the advantage. 1-7 against the lefty. Oh, might not have the advantage any longer. He does not. Look at that. Jesse Barfield. A 1-7, and it's a 1-12 home run. That's a 2. It's gone. That lead by the White Sox did not last very long. Jesse Barfield goes deep. And for Barfield, that's home run number 4 on the season, RBI number 18. And we are tied at 2 just that quickly. Just that fast. And here, speaking of trouble for Bannister, Upshaw tripled off of him last time. 4-5. This time he's going to pop it up to first. Greg Walker will handle it. But the score is now 2-2. Here's Cecil Fielder. He is upped his average. I'm sorry, I think I missed something here. Hold on. Let me see what the computer is telling me here. Let me undo what I just did. Okay. Now we're straight. Okay. Cecil Fielder is now hitting 500 on the season, 9 for 18, and 5 of those 9 hits were home runs. So he's been clubbing it, as they say. 4-12, not this time. He's going to hit a nubber back to Bannister. And the lumbering fielder is an easy target at first base for the out. 2 down, and here comes Sharperson. Flew to right his first chance. 1-7. Grounded to short. Guillen is there to end the inning, but the Blue Jays will tie the score. We go to the bottom of the 4th, tied at 2. Stieb, trying to regroup, will be facing Walker, Hill, and Hewlett. Sound like a bad law firm. But Walker, Hill, and Hewlett. 1-6, and that's a fly ball to right field. Barfield is there, 1 away. And that'll send up Donnie Hill. He lined to third base. His first time up as Orge snagged it. 3-11, and that's going to be a ballpark single check, 1-9. That is a 9, so Donnie Hill takes advantage of Comiskey Park and gets the single. He will not be held. And here's Tim Hewlett-Packard. Popped to second his first trip. It's a 1-5, and that's a line out to Tony Fernandez at shortstop for out number 2. So it's going to be up to Ozzie Guillen to get it done. He grounded to Sharperson his first time up. Nothing on the havoc. 4-6. Left-handed is another walk issued by Stieb. Continues the inning. That is the 3rd walk for Stieb. First and second, 2 outs. We are now at a clutch situation for Gary Reedus. Reedus walked his last time up and scored. 3-10. Ball. That's a single, but it's a clutch situation. There's the Omega right there. So Reedus is anti-clutch. 3-10 is anti-clutch since there were runners on second, 2 outs. Anti-clutch, that turns into a pop out to short. And that's going to end the inning. Some people don't like the Strat-O-Matic clutch factors, but if I'm playing super advanced, I'm going to play clutch. Pretty much the only thing I'm not playing is robbing home runs and blocking the plate. Pretty much I'm playing everything else super advanced. All right, so Jeff DeWillis. Jeff DeWillis, the catcher, struck out his first chance. Starts the top of the 5th, 3-3, and he's going to strike out again. Struck out on 2-3 and 3-3. I pointed the wrong way, but he struck out either way. So 1 out very quickly for Tony Fernandez. He's 0 for 2. He's still hitting .324 despite being 0 for 2. It's a 4-5, and that's a pop out to first base. That's Walker's going to take it in fair territory. 0 for 3 now for Fernandez. Brings up Garth Orge. He's also 0 for 2. 3-3 against the lefty. He's going to pop it up to short. Guillen is there, and that's going to end the inning. So Bannister makes short work of the Jays. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Still 2-2. Stieb back out. Will face Lyons, Calderon, and Hasse for the White Sox. 2-2 ball game here from Comiskey. 4-9, and that is another walk for Stieb. That's walk number 4. Can only play with fire so long before you get burned. I'm sorry, I put that in the wrong spot, didn't I? Where is my correction tape? I'm not supposed to make mistakes, but sometimes they happen. And now I can't find my correction tape for whatever reason. It's buried under some other papers I have. Oh, there it is. I found it now. That was one that was not Gary Reedus that walked. That was Lyons. Need to keep that handier because I seem to like to make mistakes. So Lyons is aboard. He will not be held. And Yvonne Calderon is up. Stieb looking for the double play. Neither team has turned a double play in this game just yet. We're looking for our first double play. 3-3, and that's a fly ball to right field. Barfield is there, one away. One down for DH Ron Hasse. Sacrifice fly his last time up. And the havoc. One chance for a wild pitch of Stieb. He's a 4. That is a 4. It will be a wild pitch. So Stieb uncorks the wild pitch. Puts the runner in scoring position as Lyons moves up. Now Hasse could bring him in with a base hit. 111, and that's a ballpark single check. That's a 17, though, so that will be a line out to second base. Snagged by Sharperson. 2 down, and now we got a clutch situation for Carlton Fisk. And Fisk in the clutch. He is going to get an extra hit on 112. That's his only clutch advantage. Everything else is regular card, but if he rolls a 112, he'll get the base hit. That's another 1 for Stieb, but no wild pitch this time. So DeWillis blocked it. Stieb to Fisk, 5-9, and that's a fly to center. That's going to end the inning. So nothing doing for the Sox. We've completed 5, and the score is 2-2. So nothing's been decided. We go to the top of the 6th. Floyd Bannister is out. His fatigue is a 7, so he's still good to go. Hello, Mr. RJL. I did catch the George Foster. Well, you know I was in there because I made some comments, but good to see you were resting from your broadcast. All right, here is Lloyd Mosby. 2-2 tie, top of the 6th. 6-6, left-handed. 1-4 is a single, but that's a 6, so it's a line out to second base. And Donnie Hill will take it, 1 away for George Bell, who's 0 for 2. He's certainly due. Flown to left and flown to center. That's a 3-9. He's going to ground it to third. And easy play for Hewlett. 2 up and 2 down for Jesse Barfield. Jesse Barfield homered his last time up. 6-4. He won't this time. Catcher X. That is Mr. Fisk. He's a 3. 3-15. So we'll go to our catcher chart on the defensive side of the house. Our catcher side. And a 3 and a 15 under the catcher chart is a foul out. And the error rating for Fisk is a 4. So he's got to avoid 16, 17, and 18. If he does that, it's just a simple foul out, which he does. It's a simple foul out, and that's going to end the inning. Another 1-2-3 inning. Turned in by Bannister. Go to the bottom of the 6th, tied at 2. Now the 6th inning is Stieb's point of weakness inning, so we will keep an eye on Stieb for sure. He does have a 6 right there, so we have to be cognizant of that. Due up for the White Sox will be Walker, Hill, and Hewlett. Walker flew to right his last time up. It's a 4-8, and that's a strikeout. There's a dot there, but he hasn't reached fatigue yet, so the strikeout is good. 1 away for Donnie Hill. And when we get to the 7th, that's when pinch hitters can start making their appearance. 6-6, switch hitter batting left. 6-6, ground ball shortstop X. Tony Fernandez is a 1. You know he's going to get to it. It's just an E17. That's all we're concerned with is E17. So E17, he's got to avoid 15, 16, and 17. Should be able to do that, and he does. So good play for Fernandez. And there's 2 away. And that'll bring up Hewlett. So nothing against the point of weakness of Stieb to this point. 6-4, that's a pop out to second. Sharperson is there, and Stieb will retain full endurance going to the 7th. We played 6 here at Comiskey. Nothing's been decided. It's 2-2. Bannister, this is the start of his fatigue inning, number 7. He'll be facing Upshaw, Fielder, and Sharperson. Probably will pinch hit for DeWillis when we get to that point. That's a 4-5. Upshaw left-handed. 4-5's a pop out to first. And Greg Walker is there to put it away. 1 down. And that will send up Cecil Fielder. Cecil Fielder. And let's see what Cecil Fielder will do. Singled and grounded back to Bannister. He's 1 for 2. It's a 2-9 for Fielder. That's a ballpark blast. It goes 1-4. That is a 4. It is long and it is gone for Cecil Fielder. Home run number 6 in just 20 at-bats. There it is. Ballpark home run check on the diamond shot. 1-4 is the home run. That is a 4. Cecil Fielder goes yard to put the Blue Jays in the lead, 3-2. And again, home run number 6 in just 20 at-bats for Cecil Fielder. Unbelievable. He is just having himself a game. No question about it. He is having himself a game. And now that brings up Sharperson. First knock against Bannister's point of weakness. That's a 6-10. And that's a ground ball third base X. We're looking at Hewlett, who's a 4. So we need a 1-7 to get to this. And he does. It's G1. And at third base, he is an E22. So he has to avoid 12, 14, 15, 16, and 18. Basically 12 through 18 without the 13 or the 17. And that's a 12. That'll be an error on Mr. Hewlett. Tim Hewlett with the error, E5. First error of the game. And now DeWillis is your scheduled hitter, but with the Blue Jays in the lead and his defense, they're going to leave him in there. They don't want to lose his defense, particularly his throwing arm. So they will leave him in there. Bannister trying to work around that error. 4-6, and that's a 1-7 single. That is a 14, so that will be a liner to short. 2 down. That'll bring up Tony Fernandez. Tony Fernandez. And Fernandez, uncharacteristically, he is 0 for 3. Bannister to Fernandez, 5-2. It's going to ground it back to Bannister. And that's going to end the inning. But the home run from Cecil Fielder gives the Blue Jays a 3-2 lead as we go to the 7th inning stretch. Seventh inning stretch time here in Chicago at Comiskey Park. 3-2. Blue Jays lead it. And we go to the bottom of the seventh inning stretch time. You're free to stretch. I may take a quick stretch break myself just to loosen the old bones. You never know. But in the meantime, take me out to the ball game. All right, take me out to the ball game. We are now ready to go for this bottom of the 7th. Bottom of the 7th we go. Let me get my bearing straight again on what I'm doing. Is Ozzie Guillen will lead it off. And Stieb to Guillen, 4-8. That is a strikeout. He's not tired. Stieb is not tired. He only has one, actually has nothing against his point of weakness. He has full endurance. So the strikeout is good. And Guillen will sit down, although he's not happy about it. Gary Reedus, the batter. 2-6 for Reedus, and he's going to ground it to short. Fernandez is there, 2 down. So it seems like Stieb is getting stronger as the game goes on. Had that rough patch in the 3rd inning. That's been it. Here's Steve Lyons. 2-5 for Lyons, struck him out. That's going to do it for the Sox. And we go to the 8th inning. 3-2 Blue Jays. Now, Bannister is going to come back out to at least start the inning. Probably let him pitch up until Mosby. Once we get to Bell and Barfield, I think they're going to go to the bullpen. And we'll see who the most rested White Sox relievers are. Or better yet, if there's anybody that's unavailable. I don't see anybody that's unavailable at all. So warming up in the White Sox bullpen is Bobby Thigpen. He would be coming in for Bannister. When and if the time comes, and you assume the time will come. So, leading off will be Garth Orge against Bannister, who's 0 for 3 is Orge. 4-7, right-handed, ground ball, second base X. We're back to Donnie Hill again. He's a 4, so we need a 7 or higher. And he does get that. As an E11, we've already seen, he needs to avoid 15, 17, and 18, which he does. So it's a good play for Donnie Hill. And the first out of the inning is recorded. Giving Thigpen more time to warm up. Here's Lloyd Mosby. And for Mosby, he is 1 for 2, a walk and a single. It's a 1-6, and that's a strikeout. So Bannister still doing well. They may go ahead and let him finish the inning. I don't see why you wouldn't. 2 outs and the base is clear. They will take the chance and let him pitch to Bell. He's not tired yet, technically. So, and he's gotten Bell out 3 times. Bell is 0 for 3. Whoop, the one die didn't go through, so let's try that again. Kind of a mess up there. Reboot, 5-11. 5-11 is a ballpark single, 1-9. That's a 13, though, so that will be a line out to short. And Bannister is going to go 8 innings. They will go ahead and probably cap him at 8 innings, though. So I think they're going to bring in Thigpen for the 9th. So we'll go ahead and cap Bannister at 8 innings. And we'll get his totals from the Strat computer. And see what he did. He certainly pitched well enough to win, but he's on the losing side at the moment. 8 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, all earned. 1 walk and 3 strikeouts. He was bitten by the gopher ball twice, once by Barfield and once by Fielder. So with Barfield leading off next inning, I think that, and Fielder hitting 3rd next inning, they don't want him facing either one of those 2 guys. So that's why Thigpen is the man. So Stieb is out, and he has nothing against his point of weakness. He is good to go all the way around. He is definitely good to go. Let's get back to the game. Make sure. All right, I need to move this over because we are starting to lose some of the some of the score sheet. So I need to bring that in to make sure we don't lose anything off the corners there. Okay, Stieb will be facing Calderon, Hasse, and Fisk. And the only one they might pinch hit for is Hasse, who's a 214 hitter. Possible might pinch hit for him. Here's Calderon. 6-7, and that's a ground ball second base X. That's Sharperson. He's a 4. So we need a 7 or better. 3 is going to get through 4 base hits. Now we're checking for an error. And his error rating is a E23. So we got to avoid 11 and a 17. Those are the two numbers to avoid, 11 and 17. There is a single already. Don't want to add to it, and they don't. It's just going to be a base hit for Calderon to lead off the 8th inning, as Sharperson was unable to get to it. So that'll bring up Hasse. Now the question is, do you pinch hit for Hasse? He's only a 214 hitter. And he is the DH, so you can certainly have a lot of options there at DH if you choose. They got Daryl Boston, who's a better hitter. Jerry Hairston, who's a better hitter. In fact, most people are better hitters. They're going to go with, let's see. They're going to go with Daryl Boston. They will pinch hit for Hasse with Daryl Boston. So Boston will take over as DH. So Daryl Boston. He will pinch hit here in the 8th inning. Now Toronto's bullpen is starting to loosen, as they have activity down in their bullpen. And let's see who they've got. Make sure there's nobody there that has to be rested today. In Toronto's bullpen, everybody shows as okay. Nobody's too tired to pitch. So we have actually not going to mess around. They got Tom Hinkie in the bullpen. They're not even going to mess around. Tom Hinkie is loosening the bullpen, looking for maybe a 4 or 5 out save, which is no big deal for him back in the 80s. So Tom Hinkie loosening in the bullpen. Right now, Daryl Boston is your pinch hitter. 1, so chance of a wild pitch. It's a 4 for a wild pitch. It's no wild pitch. It's blocked by DeWillis. So Boston will swing. 5-8, struck him out. So Daryl Boston out on strikes as a pinch hitter. He stays in the game to be the DH. And here comes Pudge Fisk. Fisk is up against Stieb. That's a 1. Another chance for another wild pitch. But once again, DeWillis blocks it. 1-5, and that's a ground ball shortstop B. It's a fielder's choice, 6-4. Fisk, the new runner, at first base, and you can't pinch hit for him because you just lost your. Well, actually, Karkovic is on the bench if they wanted to pinch hit for him, but we're not sure if they want to do that just yet. He's not really in the scoring position. Greg Walker is up, so it's a 6-4 fielder's choice. Hinkie is now ready in the bullpen if needed, but they're going to let's see if Stieb can finish the inning against Greg Walker. Whoop, D20 did not go through. Let's re-roll that. That's a 6-7, and that's a ground ball second base X. Nobody was being held, so Sharperson will maintain his number 4 defensive range. 4-13, he'll get to it. E23 again, he's got to avoid 11 and 17. Which he does. So Sharperson makes the play to end the inning. At the end of 8, it is 3-2. That's going to be it for Stieb. Hinkie will be coming on to pitch in the top of, or the bottom of the 9th, rather. So 8 innings are in the books. It's still 3-2 Blue Jays. And it'll be Barfield, Upshaw, and Fielder due up. So Bobby Thigpen, let's get the numbers on Thigpen. We got to actually bring these guys in the game in the computer. So let's go get Thigpen, bring him in, and get his numbers on the season. The game is out of Bannister's hands now. He gets a no decision. Stieb could still get a win if the Blue Jays take the lead this inning. So he's still a possibility he could get the win. Thigpen 1-0 with 4 saves, ERA of 0. In 9 innings pitched, he's only given up 2 hits, no walks, and 8 strikeouts. So he has been dominant. So his job is to keep the Blue Jays right where they are. So Thigpen. And his hold is a -4 to go with fifth zeros. That's a -4. So the Blue Jays will have trouble getting leads against him. So here's Barfield, top of the 9th, 3-2 Jays. 2-9, that's a ground ball to short. Guillen is there. 1 away. So 1 down for Willie Upshaw. 1 for 3 with a triple and a run scored. 6-2, that's a ballpark blast. It's 1-4, though. It's a 16, so the fly to deep right field. Hauled in by Calderon. Warning track power on that one. 2 down, and here comes Fielder. He has more than warning track power. Cecil Fielder is now hitting the even 500. He's 10 for 20 with 6 home runs, 14 runs driven in. So 1-7, he's going to strike out. So take a big swing and a miss against Thigpen and comes up empty. So nothing doing for the for the Jays in the top of the 9th. We go to the bottom of the 9th. And it'll be Mr. Tom Hinkie trying to save the day for the Jays. First, we have to need to get. Let's see if there's going to be a defensive replacement for Toronto. There may very well be. They don't like Sharperson's 4 at second base, that's for sure. So, with that in mind, we're going to have Kelly Gruber come in and play third base. And Garth Orge will move. Garth Orge is a 4, though, at second, so they really can't get away from that. They just don't have a good second baseman. That's their problem. Oh, you know what? We're just gonna keep it as is, because bringing in somebody else, you're still going to have a 4 to deal with. So they will just go ahead and go with what they got. So Tom Hinkie will be coming on. Let's get the numbers on Stieb to finish him off. And we'll get the numbers on Hinkie as well. Hinkie is in. Stieb is going to go 8 innings. And he is qualified. He gets a no decision, I should say, because actually qualifies for the win because they're ahead 3-2. I was thinking it was a tie game for some reason. All right, so Stieb would qualify for the win. He goes 8 innings pitched, 5 hits, and Bannister would take the loss. Let's see, 2 runs. They were earned. He did walk 4. They were all early on. Struck out 5. All right, so Hinkie is on. He's a 0 hold, which makes him a -3. And on the replay for Hinkie, he is 0-0 with 3 saves. He's pitched 4 innings, given up 5 hits, no runs. His ERA is 0, no walks, and 3 strikeouts. Now, Donnie Hill is coming up. He's not a very good hitter. He is a .239 hitter. Let's look at the bench for the White Sox. They may have to go to a right-hander, as their lefties are maybe not as good. They do have Jerry Royster. So Jerry Royster is going to pick up a bat and hit for Hill, and he would stay in the game to play second base if it got to that. So this is Royster. So Jerry Royster. Royster pinch hitting in the 9th. Righty against righty, so it's a little bit unconventional, but his average is just so much better than Donnie Hill's. They feel like, and he's a good leadoff man. He's got good speed, so kind of feel like you need to do that. So coming in for Hill is Royster. Hinkie, top of the 9th, leading 3-2, looking to save it for the Jays. 5-10, and that is a ballpark blast. 1-4, that is a 4. Royster has normal power, and the brilliant managing once again comes into play. You don't see that on that other channel, I'm telling you. Pinch hit home run for Jerry Royster. Royster was hitting .412 coming into this game in 17 at-bats with 1 home run. That makes home run number 2, and we are now tied at 3 apiece. Stieb will not get the win. Bannister will not have to suffer the loss, and we are now tied. It's a brand new ball game here in Chicago. Here's Timmy Hewlett. 2-5 for Hewlett. He grounds to short. Fernandez is there, 1 away. I was not anticipating extra innings. I was not desiring extra innings, but it looks like we may be getting extra innings. Here's Ozzie Guillen. 4-6, and that's a 1-7 double. That's a 20, though, so it's a fly to right field. Hauled in out there by Barfield. 2 down for Gary Reedus. Hinkey's going to get a blown save. 5-7, and that's a ground ball. Second base X. That's Sharperson again. He's a 4. 6 will not cut it. That's going to be a base hit. 4 and a 6 is a single 1 star, but nobody's on base, just a single. And again, he's got to avoid 11 and 17, which he does. It's going to be a 2-out single for Reedus, but he'll be looking to run. To get the lead, needs a 2 through 6. Does not get the lead, so he's got to stand pat. And that'll bring up Steve Lyons, a 280 hitter, so you're not going to pinch hit for him. Hinkey to Lyons. 3-8, and that's a single. There is a Omega there for anti-clutch, but their runner's not in scoring position. He's only at first base. So had he stolen second base, this would have been changed to an out. But since he's not in scoring position, the single stands. That's a single to left field. Now, I don't know Reedus. He was being held, makes him a 16. 2 outs is an 18. -2 is a 16. They're going to throw for him because the trail runner doesn't mean anything. So 1-16, they'll get him out at 1-16. He'll be safe at third, and he is. Going to second is Lyons, but that's irrelevant. So the base hit puts runners at second and third, and a chance to walk it off for Calderon. First base is open. They could walk Calderon and pitch to Boston. If they so choose, Boston struck out his first chance up. Calderon, a 293 hitter with some pops, so they will. But if you walk him, then if Hinkey gives up a walk, he can walk and run in. Boy, tough call here, but I think Calderon's 2 for 3, so they're going to give him the free pass to load the bases. And it's going to be all up to Darrell. Please come to Boston. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Bottom of the 9th, tied at 3. Hinkey trying to take us to the 10th. 1-7, and that is gone. A grand salami. 1-7, a walk-off grand slam. Anything RJL can do, we can do better. He had a walk-off, I believe it was a 2-run homer for Foster. It might have been a solo shot. This is a walk-off grand slam. Look at the numbers again. 1-7, or 1-7. Home run 1-9. That's a 7. It is long and it is gone. A walk-off grand slam for Darrell. Please come to Boston. And they make Hinkey pay. And Tom is crying at his Hinkey right now. 5-run 9th for the White Sox, and they win it 7-3 in dramatic fashion with a grand salami from Darrell Boston. And the White Sox players are waiting for Boston to trot around the bases. He's taking his sweet time to get there, kind of savoring the moment. But he does it, and there's your ball game. White Sox win it. Steal the grab victory out of the jaws of defeat, as they say, with the victory. And with that victory, the White Sox improved to 10-5. Toronto drops to 11-6. Tom Hinkey takes the loss. Poor Hinkey went 2/3 of an inning gave up 4 hits and 5 runs. Walked the one, which was intentional, but give up 2 gopher balls, one to the pinch hitter Royster and one to Boston. Hinkie takes the loss. Thigpen gets the win. He is now 2-0 with the win. Hinkie with the loss is 0-1. And for Thigpen, he's going to go 1 inning, has a strikeout, gives up nothing else. So for the totals, it is 7 runs, 9 hits, and 1 error for the White Sox, 3 runs and 5 hits and no errors for the Blue Jays. White Sox left on 7, Blue Jays left on 4. Player of the game, without a question, is Darryl Boston. His pinch hit grand slam did it on that dreaded 1-7 result with a 7 on it was a 7 on the D20, I believe it was. And he only needed a 9. We rolled a 7, I believe it was. It was less than 9. That's all I know for sure. And they walk it off. And the fans here in Comiskey are happy. Yes, RJL, I just had to kind of outdo you, I guess. I don't know. But and you could talk about great managing both ways, because maybe intentionally walking Calderon was a bad move to get to Boston, but you never know what the result might have been. 1-7 on Calderon would have walked it off as well, because that would have been a double 1-18. So it would have been a walk-off double had we pitched to Calderon. And then if that was the case, people would be wondering why he didn't walk Calderon and pitch to Boston. So can't always win. That's just the way it goes. So White Sox win at 7-3. They improved to 10-5. Toronto drops to 11-6. The final game from April the 25th is going to be on Sunday, and it will be, actually I said it was going to be Yankee Stadium. It's actually going to be the mistake by the lake in Cleveland. It'll be the Yankees 11-6 taking on Cleveland 8-10. Rick Rhoden starting for the Yankees against left-hander Scott Bales for the Cleveland Indians. But tomorrow will be the Cincinnati Reds at the Philadelphia Phillies, first of a 2-game road trip in History Maker Baseball, and always have fun playing that game. And that'll be sometime probably close to noon Eastern, give or take a half hour either way, tomorrow. So, hello PFQR. Didn't see you come in, Ernest, if I didn't say hello to you. Tim, Tribe fan, or former Tribe fan. Good to see you. Didn't see you sneak in there at the end. Brian B, of course, giving his anecdote for things you don't see on the other channel. I think I missed it last night. I believe RJL actually did a double switch, and I wasn't there to see it. So at least that's the rumor I heard. But I was not there to see it, to witness it, to give, full credence to it. It's just something I thought I heard somebody say he did a double switch. So maybe, they'll come around eventually. They'll come around to our way of thinking, our way of managing. So that's going to do it here from Comiskey Park. 7-3, White Sox walk it off on a grand slam. And poor Tom Hinkie, how many times is he going to give up 5 runs in 2/3 of an inning to blow the save? Just happens. Oh, I did, Ernest. Okay, I'm not as good with the chat and everything, so sometimes I don't know who I've acknowledged and who I haven't, but I definitely don't want to miss anybody, so I'd rather double up than omit somebody. So, hey, you get extra props. There you go. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. All right, so I do appreciate you spending part of your Friday evening with me, and be sure to check out RJL when he does his Inside Pitch game 1983 season replay with that in fast score. Check out Clee Baseball Fan when he does his, I think he's still doing his Gaylord Perry replay. I believe Utah Mike, Sports Time Machine, is about ready to do a 1979 World Series replay in Strat-O-Matic. So, and, so anybody that's out there that puts out content, be sure to check them out and support them and encourage them and let them know that you enjoy what you see. And, positive feedback does a lot of times encourage us to keep going. So anyway, that's going to do it from here. Enough rambling. Final score 7-3 White Sox over the Jays. And it is oh no Canada after Hinkie gives up 5 runs in the bottom of the ninth. So until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.